There's a lot of interventions that are effective, but the most effective one is one that will be used. And so when we think about the tools and the strategies, we always have the lens of, is this going to be easy to use? Is this going to be something that a parent or a teacher will understand if they see this piece of paper and know what to do with it? Or will it really help them use these strategies in natural ways that feel good in their day and that fit with all the other things that they have to do?
Sometimes the most effective parenting interventions don't produce the intended results. Why? Well, one reason is that they may be too difficult to implement or take too much time, or they just can't fit into families' everyday routines. In this video, Kathy Bigelow talks about the development of a set of language promotion strategies called PC Talk that she and her colleague Dale Walker have developed. Kathy describes how important it was to develop a language promoting intervention that would be easy to implement and accessible to parents and caregivers. This is the fourth principle. She reminds us that creating interventions that are easy to implement will make it more likely that they get used and ultimately more likely to lead to better language outcomes for children. Kathy, can you just tell me a little bit about the work that you've been doing in language intervention?
Dale and I have been working on developing and testing a toolkit of resources called PC Talk. And that stands for Promoting Communication Tools for Advancing Language in Kids. And that's a toolkit, and it includes the strategies that adults can use to promote child language and communication, and then an array of tools that can be used to support caregivers and teachers and providers and people who deliver interventions. And the overarching goal is that those tools are really to kind of be easy to use and ready to use for all of those individuals, and to be accessible to those providers as well as to families and children.
When you think of the work that you've been doing with Dale in developing PC Talk, tell me about which of these principles that we've included in our paper that you've adopted in your work.
We've adopted Principle 4. We've adopted other principles, but the one I think that shows up most in our work is Principle 4, which is developing language promoting interventions that parents and caregivers find easy to access and can readily use in their day-to-day, everyday interactions at home, at childcare, and in the community.
Well, and one thing that that we've noted in our some of the research that we've done about these principles, when we asked researchers around the country, which of these principles do you think will have the biggest bang for the buck? Which ones will really make a difference in terms of promoting children's outcomes? It was this principle that you've mentioned, Principle 4, which is make the intervention easy to access, easy to use. But you and Dale have kind of you've adhered to that principle since the very beginning of your work. How did you know to do that?
There's a lot of effective interventions, right? And they've been tested and used in different populations and settings. But we know that the most effective intervention is going to be the one that people can readily use and that they find natural, that fits within their day, fits within their routines, and that they can see the benefit of using immediately. And so that's kind of the guiding principle that we use.
And then taking it one step further, how do you think using this principle will really promote greater equity?
We understand that parents are busy and stressed. All parents are busy and stressed. And teachers in childcare settings are busy and stressed. And they have so many requirements to meet and so many standards to meet and so many competing demands that if we develop interventions that have that are easy to use, natural to use in their day-to-day routine. If they've been developed and tested with the input and the perspective and experience of those parents, caregivers, teachers, providers in mind, they've helped guide us as we've developed these tools, then we believe that there's going to be a greater fit for every family, not just some families, not just some teachers, but every family, because there's flexibility, because it's been developed and tested with their voice represented throughout the process.